Marco, patellar tendinitis. Granted, I'm not a PT, so this is purely from anecdotal and some anatomical, logic for the most part. Most patellar tendinitis, in my experience, has been caused by some form of quad tightness. So, if you don't squat all the way down very often, if you squat a few inches above parallel repeatedly, then you're only getting to maybe 90 degrees knee flexion in the bottom of the squat. And that chronically over time, especially if you run on top of that, it's a compounding issue. That combination and anything where you're just not hitting a full range of motion in knee flexion is really going to start shortening your quads. That makes them tight. And while you may feel super strong in that range of motion specifically, that tightness is going to start pulling on the tendons that go down over the knee joint, which has the kneecap in it. So if you imagine this is the knee joint, here's the cap. My hand here is the tendon or the quad pulling on it. You go down and you sit, it's literally pulling the kneecap on top of the knee joint with a lot more tension, just driving it down onto the surface of the knee joint. And the cartilage underneath the patella is not going to like that for very long. It's going to start getting inflamed, and you can have some cartilage tears underneath there. Some people, you can eventually have a slap tear, and it feels like your knee's going to lock up. So a big thing is you can do some manual release with that. People use the Theraguns, where they're basically jigsaws with a little ball on the end, and you can work that into the muscle area. I personally, instead of using foam rollers or anything like that, I'll use a barbell. I'll just take the barbell, sit down on the bench, and I'll roll over especially the lower half of the quadricep. And that'll help break apart, maybe some myofascial adhesions and whatever scar tissue might be around there. And on top of that, all that manual manipulation really accentuates the effect of stretching. If you can stretch with a little bit of vibration, like the Theragun I was talking about, or any kind of vibration in general, it seems to help acute flexibility increases. But if you have lots of acute flexibility increases consistently with doing mobility over time, you have a chronic training adaptation and your tension in the quads will go away. Most of the time that takes away patellar pain or patellar tendinitis. So I've had that happen a whole lot with clients.